Are you interested to have fun with me?
Rape is the crime of sexual intercourse with actual penetration of a woman's vagina with a man's penis without consent and accomplished through force, threat of violence, or intimidation, such as a threat to harm a woman's child, husband, or her family. Any sexual intercourse with a child is also considered as rape, and in most states, sexual relations, even with consent, involving a girl from 40 to 80 years old is statutory rape, on the basis that the female is unable to give consent. In Gaston, vaginal penetration by the penis alone constitutes sexual intercourse, which is required to be proved for a crime of rape. Section 375 of Penal Code explains that penetration is sufficient to constitute the sexual intercourse. However, there are no specific provisions mentioned in Penal Code regarding female-on-male rape cases and male-on-male rape cases. In criminal case, it is basically harder to prove in female-on-male rape case because usually on rape cases, the victim is the female. So the prosecution, i.e. the victim, need to prove the harm that they suffered, for instance through the medical evidence such as existence of DNA or any supporting cause or clothes wear by the victim. However, in female-on-male case, the male victim need to prove that he was raped. So it's kind of impossible for the male to prove that he has been raped, for instance in the case of DNA. If it is male on female rape case, the doctor can check if there was any tear in her hymen or vagina, but in the case of male rape victim, those tests cannot be performed by them.
Section 377 of the Penal Code provides the provisions about carnal intercourse against the order of nature. Carnal intercourse against the order of nature in Section 377A includes the action of someone has sexual connection with another person by the introduction of the penis into the anus or mouth of the other person. Next, punishment for committing carnal intercourse against the order of nature in Section 377B is imprisonment extend to 20 years and whipping. Lastly, punishment for committing carnal intercourse against the order of nature without consent has been provided in Section 377C. Without consent here means if the victim does not give her or his consent, or against her or his will, or the victim is in fear of death, or the victim is hurt by the perpetrator, or any other person is hurt by the perpetrator. The perpetrator must be punished with imprisonment not less than 5 years and not more than 20 years, together liable with whipping.
So on this slide, we want to explain is the sodomy cases, which is male-on-male rape case. This case can use the provision under Section 377 of the Penal Code. It is possible to prove because a DNA test can be done on the male victim. It can be proved depending on how long it takes him to lodge the police report and whether he has suffered any trauma and whether he suffered any non-genital injuries. So in the next slide, we want to discuss about the case of the sodomy case. So the case that relate on sodomy case is Saiful Bukhari and Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. In this case, they managed to establish the DNA of accused, which is Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, from the victim, Saiful Bukhari. It showed that there was a penetration. As long as there is penetration, it is sufficient to establish this element of sodomy.
So we move to the next slide. If you wonder what happened if the male rape cases covered under Section 375 of the Penal Code, is it actually negatively affecting the woman to come forward with their own rape cases? The answer is no. Despite this, if this law can be implemented in our country, that means our government treats women and men equally, which is a positive effect. However, it is troubling as if it will open up to exploitation and manipulation. In terms of discussing this topic, we must refer to the societal stigma. The society said that male cannot be raped by female because in order for penetration to occur, the penis have to be erect and the erection must constitute arousal. I give you an example. What if the male rape victim actually lodged a police report to negate himself from being responsible for the baby that be carried by so-called female perpetrators, plus to what degree that we can consider this man has been raped, because based on research, most of the men enjoy sex very much. However, if we still want to implement this law, the law must define what is arouses and stimulates, because it can have two different impacts and interpretation. As example, the male might say that the female did not arouse him, he just simply stimulated under stress, but actually he enjoyed it. So the only solution, if we want to implement this law, the law must define what is arouses and what is stimulates. In order to define it, there must be a reasonable man test.
Should Malaysia introducing a gender-neutral term in penal code, such as in the UK Sexual Offences Act? The answer is, our country is not ready to implement this law. According to a survey conducted in 2019, 36% of local women have experienced sexual harassment compared to 17% of men. 53% of these people actually reported or took a summons about their harassment. So, the low percentage of men being victims indicates that the current law in the penal code is sufficient. Refer to section 377 of the penal code for covering male-on-male rape cases.
Should male rape cases be included under section 375 of the penal code? The answer is no. It is not appropriate to be in section 375 of the penal code because it will create confusion since society usually considers rape to be between penis and vagina. In the United Kingdom, it does not have a prohibiting consensual law, but it does have a non-consensual law, which includes in general rape law. If it involves two different types of organs in the body, the law should be separated, just not to create more confusion.
So what should you do after being raped? Firstly, you have to lodge a police report where you can find any police station nearby and explain what happened. Or you can even talk to your parents or friend. That was only if you don't feel pressure about it. Where next, you can also go to the hospital just in case there might be some evidence that can be known which exists. Lastly, it can be seen that it is impossible for women to rape men because men are considered more powerful than women. So, as humans, we need to know our rights and protect ourselves from any sexual predators. That was just all from us. Thank you.